You're listening to Flaunt. Find your sparkle and create a life you love after infidelity or betrayal. A podcast for women who've been betrayed by their intimate partner and want to turn their devastation into an invitation to reclaim themselves and their worth. Tune in weekly so you can start making sense of it all and learn how to be okay on the inside, no matter what goes on the outside. Download your free Betrayal Recovery Toolkit at betrayalrecoveryguide.com.
Are you afraid of screwing this whole thing up? Are you afraid of being the one who blows up your marriage? Are you afraid of joining the wrong program or hiring the wrong therapist or doing something wrong so that something is messed up that you can't suddenly go back and fix? That's what I want to talk about today is that fear, that analysis paralysis, that lack of trust in yourself after infidelity. And first of all, I want to start by saying it's totally common. It is totally common to suddenly have no trust in yourself, to suddenly start questioning your ability to ascertain the truth, to discern truth from lies, to figure out if somebody's a good person or not because of what you have been through. If you're anything like me, I spent my whole life truly wanting to do the right thing. I've never wanted to screw things up. I don't want to make a mistake. Do I think that I'm perfect? No. But I also think that I am wise enough and smart enough that I can figure things out. You know what I mean? Whether it's looking at Google reviews or Yelp reviews or, checking reviews online, I check things out because I don't want to make a mistake. I overthink. I know there's so much information online now that it also makes overthinking kind of easy, but it's also kind of a benefit because it helps us figure out what is going to be good for us, whether it's the right quality and the right price, whether it's the right program and the right person, whatever it is. I have spent my whole life honestly trying to do right. And I feel like you're probably a lot like that too, because everybody that I work with, everybody that I talk to, parrots that back to me. They say, how could this have happened to me especially? Because I try so hard. Because even though I do mess things up, my heart is in the right place. And I try to be kind and generous and authentic and do my research. And how could somebody then hurt me when I have tried so hard? And when I can look around and see other people out there who aren't trying that hard and who aren't doing the right thing and who are kind of careless. And I think that's one of the things that makes infidelity even so much harder to come to terms with. If you're playing fast and loose in your own marriage, yeah, okay, well, probably deserve that. But I've been doing this work for a long time now, and I have never met anyone who's like, yep, kind of deserved that, kind of saw that coming, didn't surprise me. Everybody that I've met has been completely blindsided. And part of the reason that they were blindsided is because they are so genuine. They are so caring and they try so hard to do the right thing. And then all of a sudden, out of the blue, they find out about this infidelity, and then they feel like they are tasked with figuring out what to do next. It's like, woohoo, balls in your court, figure it out. And they're like, I don't even know what court I'm on. How can I figure that out? And not only is it wildly unfair, it is wildly unfair, but it's also extra hard because you don't have any control. And I think for me, for you, for most people listening, we're used to having a certain amount of control. We're capable people. You know what I'm saying? We we've researched things, we've read things, we've understood things. We're smart. We can figure things out. If something happened with our kids, we're like, I'm on it. I can take care of it. If something happens with the house, I'm on it. I can take care of it. Even if it's something that we don't know about, I'm on it. I can research it. I can Google that. I can figure it out and I can take care of it. And I know for me, I spent so many years truly taking care of everything around the house. You know, the emotional labor, the physical labor, I did all of that in part because I was good at it, in part because I was capable, in part because it was a gender role, you know, in part because I didn't even at the time cognize the difference between what I was doing and maybe what I should have been doing and should have not been doing. I just slid into this role. I slid in to this role and it worked. Our family worked. Our life worked. But I also got really good at taking care of other people's emotions, tiptoeing around my husband when he needed tiptoeing around. You know what I'm saying? It's like we get good at adapting, so then we make things worse. Should we have maybe tiptoed around our spouse at different times? No, we should have spoken our truth. We should have had two emotionally mature people coming together and having a conversation, but that's not always how it worked. But we were the ones that made it work anyway. So then when all of a sudden this infidelity bomb goes off, what our brain says is, I can fix this, I can fix this, I can fix this. Because for 100 million years, our brain has gone, I can fix this, I can fix this, I can fix this. And we do. So not only do we have this emotional devastation that, oh my God, my partner cheated. My partner actually cheated, and that doesn't even make sense in my brain. Now we have this other layer of devastation. I can't fix this. I'm a fixer and I can't fix this. I don't even know how to sit with that. One of the things in my sessions that is very common is women trying to fix their partner. If I can get him to go to therapy, if I can get him to go to counseling, if I can get him, in the sex addiction program, alcohol addiction program, if I can get him to. And then one of the first things we have to do is break that down. You can't control another person. You want to. I want to. Oh my God, I want to. But this isn't something we can fix. We can't fix him. Raise your hand if you want to fix your partner. I want to fix my partner. I did then. Being totally honest, I still do. I want to fix people. I think we all do politically. Who wants to look at the quote other side, whatever that other side is, and be like, oh my God, if I could just talk to them and show them what is really true, I could fix their way of thinking because it doesn't make sense. We are fixers. If you were listening to me right now, chances are you are a fixer because you're capable, because you're smart, because you can. Now, you've probably heard the term codependent. And I have really mixed feelings with that term and with that concept because on the one hand, yes, people can have codependent type of behaviors. Yes, we can manipulate from the one down position. Yes, we can do all of the things like that. And there is an unhealthiness to that. I'm not saying that these behaviors can't cross the line. But what I am saying and what I want you to hear is a lot of times these behaviors are not codependent. They're not manipulative. These are high achiever traits and characteristics. high achiever traits and characteristics that have been weaponized and turned against us. I'm so happy that we're starting to talk about this now, that not all narcissists are drawn to weak women. They are drawn to strong, capable women who are effective and efficient and can easily solve problems and put their needs aside in order to serve the greater good. And all of our positive characteristics get hijacked and turned against us. And having that realization in and of itself is another betrayal. That's another betrayal. Your strengths are suddenly your weakness. Your strengths are what allowed this situation to go on longer than maybe it could have or should have, had you been a different kind of person. Had you truly been the damsel in distress, had you truly been incompetent and incapable, maybe it wouldn't have gone this far. And that's mind twist, isn't it? That is a huge mind twist, that I overfunctioned and I ran this family. And because I was so capable and so competent and so emotionally adept and attuned, whoa, this situation might have lasted longer than it would have had I not been this capable. Boom. This is a whole reframe. You were not cheated on because you're worthless. You were cheated on because you were powerful. Whoa, I know. Sit down. Mic drop. You were not cheated on because you're worthless and weak. You were cheated on because you were powerful, strong, and capable. Let that sink in for a moment. You were cheated on because of your strengths. I know. Now, I want to own this and say these are some wild generalizations that I'm saying. These are concepts. This is conceptually speaking. This is not you are to blame because you're so capable. This is not you are to blame because you're so capable. This is part of the reason that this happened, part of the reason that this went down the way that it went down is because you're a high achiever and you were taken advantage of. And who gets taken advantage of? People who have an advantage. Who gets taken advantage of? People who have an advantage get taken advantage of. Again, this goes deep. This goes deep. If your partner viewed you as somebody with an advantage, then they could take an advantage of you because they saw you as being stronger than them, more capable than them, more emotionally attuned or mature or aware than them. Yeah. Did your partner ever say to you, I didn't think this would hurt you? And inside you go, are you really kidding me right now? How can you say, I didn't think this would hurt you? What a lie. What a story, right? Do you know the truth of that? They didn't think this would hurt you because they saw you as someone who couldn't be hurt. Because maybe they didn't think you really loved them. Maybe because they thought you were so strong and capable, you didn't need them. Maybe because they saw you doing everything anyway and they felt emasculated by your strength. Breathe, 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 breathe. This is not blame. This is not shame. This is a deep subconscious dynamic that I'm talking about. A deep subconscious dynamic in the masculine that is a little bit afraid of the feminine, that is a little bit afraid of not being man enough, that is a little bit afraid of not being capable enough or strong enough. And it pokes at the insecure wounds. And it pokes at the not enoughness in them. And they don't feel like they can meet your needs, and they're afraid. And for a man to say, I'm afraid, suddenly makes him not a man anymore. And he doesn't want to be a scared little boy. And God forbid any man wants to be feminine and emotional. And all of those thoughts go through their head. And these subconscious wounds and this deep subconscious programming about what it means to be a man and what it means to be a woman and what it means to be capable and what it means to be incapable and not good enough. And suddenly they're in this whole spiral of I'm not good enough, I'm not capable enough. She's better than I am. She doesn't really love me anyway. What's going to make me feel more like a man than cheating with another woman? I know all the thoughts that are coming up in your head. It's deep. It's a little twisted, but it's also really, really sad. It's also really, really sad. And then what's worse for them is that suddenly they realize, oh my God, she was hurt. She is human too. Oh, I had the best thing going. I had someone who loved me, who took care of so many things, who was so capable, and I messed it up. And then once again, they're in that spiral of I messed it up. I can't go forward. If I own this, it's going to make me weak. So I have to put the stake in the ground that I'm justified in doing this, that I deserve this, that it wasn't as bad as she thought. Because they can't drop the ego front and move into that painful, wounded little boy and speak their truth. So then they create more damage. See the dynamic? Wounded boy, powerful woman. Deeply insecure. Versus exhausted but deeply capable. I mean, honestly, don't we always have to do twice as much to get half as much recognition? Yeah. We're used to embodying that role. Yeah, men weaponize their incompetence because society has told them that they can do it. And we have told them that they can do it by being twice as capable. Now, you might be saying, how did we get here? Why are we talking about this? This is my pain and he did this. And I am not going to feel sorry for him. That is not an excuse. And you're right. It's not an excuse. How we got here is I want you to see these different layers of dynamics. This might be exactly what happened in your relationship. It might be partially what happened in your relationship. And you might be listening thinking, no, that's not really my partner. In any event, it's all fine. It's that I want you to start thinking about the societal conditioning, these societal labels, the ways in which we function in the world. So, with that as the backdrop, we're going to come back around to you and you not wanting to screw up your marriage, and you not wanting to hire the wrong coach, and you not wanting to invest in the wrong therapist, and the pressure that you feel to get it right. All of a sudden, this bomb goes off. You find out about this infidelity. In my case, I found out about something that happened 15 years earlier, and I'm supposed to process it in a day, in a moment, and figure out what I'm going to do with the rest of my life and the rest of my kids' life. In 1 minute, finding out something that happened 15 years earlier. Oh my God, I don't think so. I'm not even capable of that. A couple shows ago, I talked about that knowledge of infidelity and how we don't usually find out in the moment, how we are the last one to know. And then we have this huge catch-up game that we need to play. And it's hard. And with that backdrop of us as the capable woman who figures things out, who takes care of things, who knows what to say and to do, all of a sudden we're given this bomb and we don't know what to do. And we don't know what to do, A, because, oh my God, this is 15 years worth of stuff. This is 20 years worth of stuff. This is 3 years worth of stuff. And nobody can figure out what to do. But then second of all, we don't know what to do with it because we don't have a narrative. What's the narrative around betrayal? Once a cheater, always a cheater. Take him for all he's worth. If he cheats, I'm out of here. Cheating is all about passion and love and blah, 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 and you're not good enough. The narrative that we have around betrayal is not real, and it's not healthy, and it's not useful. And there's such a stigma around betrayal that we don't talk about it. We're not like, hey, my husband cheated, mine did too. Oh my, we don't talk about it. There is stigma, there is shame, there is horror around that. So not only do we have a really difficult position, bam, bomb went off, I've got to catch up and re-assimilate 15 years of my life now, but I also have no schema with which to move forward. The only schema I have is some kind of negative stuff. Once a cheater, always a cheater. Leave now. It's never going to get better. Why did you even stay? Why didn't you know? So now, not only am I trying to catch up to where I'm at in the present moment, but I've got all this negative story and narrative in my head, and my heart and my mind and my energy and my soul are probably saying a whole bunch of different conflicting things. And one of those conflicting things that's being said is, I don't want to screw it up. I don't want to screw it up. Oh my God, I don't want to screw this up. I don't want to blow up my life. I don't want to mess this up. I've worked really, really hard. The kids are this age. We're going to have grandkids. I've got my career. We're looking at retirement. What if I die alone? Am I ever going to find anybody else? Oh my God, especially at my age. Look at my body. Look at my life. Look at my finances, families. It's this avalanche of pressure to not screw up something that you didn't screw up in the first place. And that is not fair. Oh my God, that is not fair. That is so wildly unfair. And then because we're capable and we're smart and we're strong, we try to figure it out. But then we're in this state of overwhelm. Our nervous system is hijacked. We're going through the grief. We're going through the anger. We're going through the rage. And we can't make really good decisions because we're in the thick of it. And when our nervous system is hijacked, we go into fight, flight, freeze, or fix. And I want to talk a little bit more about those. When you find this out and your nervous system lights up and it's totally hijacked, you move from the prefrontal cortex, the rational, reasonable thinking portion of your brain, and you go all the way back here to the survival portion of your brain. And you just react. It's like threat, react. You don't think about it. You just react. And it's hard. It's hard to be in that space. It's hard to say, okay, bomb just went off. Give me 3 weeks to lay on the floor and cry, and then I'll get back to you. No, you've got jobs, families, all this stuff, all the questions. And then the questions can kick up some more trauma. And then one of the things that can happen too is where's the place that we first go when our marriage is in trouble? Marriage counseling, right? If we're having a crisis, we get a counselor. There are amazing counselors out there. There are also not amazing counselors who are not trauma aware, trauma informed. There are people out there who have great intentions, but they don't know the dynamic of infidelity. Maybe they've studied it, but they haven't lived it. Maybe they just don't understand you and your situation based on where you are at now. And also, sometimes therapists, counselors want to go back and start helping you process things, which is wonderful. You need that. We all need processing. But sometimes that's not where you're at in the moment. And it's vitally important to know where you're at in the moment. Do you ask yourself, what do I need right now? Do I need medicine? Do I need something to help me sleep? Do I need something with my anxiety? Like, do I need drugs at this time to get me through this immediate crisis? If I honestly need a higher level of mental health care, it's important to get it. Now is not the time to say, oh, but I don't like drugs. Oh, but I don't really believe in sleeping pills. Oh, but I don't really want to go inpatient. Oh, I can manage this. Let me just say, now is not the time to manage anything. Now is not the time for you to manage anything. Now is the time for you to get all the help that you need. Maybe it's even just herbs or natural supplements. But if you are having a tough time with your mental health, get a higher level of mental health care. It's like you don't just think your way out of postpartum depression. You don't. You don't just get over a postpartum. You can't just take a bubble bath and have postpartum depression go away. If you're struggling, get help. Get good, qualified help. You're not going to be on meds forever, but get the help that you need right now. If you need a trauma specialist, get a trauma specialist right now. Get somebody who isn't going to immediately take you to a place that might re-traumatize you. I can't tell you how many people that I've worked with and they're like, I went to a therapist and their first question was, what did you do wrong? Oh, oh my God. No. Seek out professionals that meet you where you are at. Self-reflecting on your part of a situation is healthy later down the road. Not right now. And it was never your fault in the first place. Was there contributing factors? Of course, there always are in every situation. But nothing you did ever caused the cheating. I want you to be a discerning customer. I know you are a discerning customer. You probably check Google reviews and Yelp reviews and figure things out and talk to people. But do you like this? Do you like Lululemon versus Athleta better? Do you like... We talk about it, right? But so often when we see a therapist or a coach or a counselor, we assume they are the expert and we let them take the lead. And when we are so hurt and so traumatized and so flooded and so overwhelmed and we're in that state of fight, flight, or freeze, we forget that it is up to us to be discerning. We can ask questions. We can say, that doesn't feel good for me right now. We can say, no, thank you. I think I'm going to find somebody else. And we can interview 3, 5 different coaches or therapists. One of the reasons that I always offer a $97 introductory session is so that people can feel what it's like to be with me. You hear me on the podcast. You see me on YouTube. But let's talk together. Let's see if we gel. For $97, you get an introductory session that lasts an hour, and then you're like, okay, I really like this. Okay, I need to shift around this. It's not a huge commitment because the last thing you need right now is a huge commitment. You don't know what you're going to choose. You don't know if you need help choosing. You don't know what your partner is going to do. Things are going to look very different in 3 months, in 6 months, in 9 months. Let's just get together now. See if it works now. See what my ideas are now. Bounce things off of me now. And then, with that knowledge, move forward. If you want to book your introductory session, by the way, literally, if you go to introductorysession.com, www.introductorysession.com, it takes you right there to the calendar link where you pay and you schedule. You can cancel if you need to cancel. You can reschedule if you need to reschedule. I'm truly here to serve you in whatever you need. So how does your nervous system feel when you hear that? Oh, hey, not a big deal. Versus, I'm going to lock you in and you can't make a mistake and blah, 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 blah. Introductorysession.com. Easy peasy. I used to always say with my kids, easy peasy, pumpkin cheesy. Anyway, ask questions. Notice how it feels, because that is going to help get you out of fight, flight, or freeze so you can get back into the prefrontal cortex and start making decisions that make sense. I'm going to break that down a little bit. You're smart. You're capable. That's that energy oftentimes of fight. I'm getting in here. I'm getting in here. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. And I've been hurt, and dang it, I'm going to make this right. This is not justice. I'm going to make it a just world for me. I'm going to fight. He says this, I'm going to fight that. That's not true. She says this, I'm going to fight that. It's not true. It's that real aggressive, hard line. No way. I'm taking you on. Breathe into that. Is that always the best decision? You want to hear a little story? You know what I did the moment that I found out? The afternoon I found out, not the moment I found out. There was a lot of intervening stuff. But when I went into my fight mode, I got on the phone and I called my husband's work and I reported him for an ethics violation. And I called these professional associations that he was a part of, and I reported him and the other woman involved in that one for ethics violations. And I just boop, 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 did all this stuff because I'm like, you are a bad person and I'm not going to stand up for that. And I'm a good person and I'm going to show you and I'm going to take you down. And then a little bit later that evening, when I calmed down, it was like, oh, gee, maybe that wasn't the best of ideas. Maybe that's going to actually come back and bite me if he loses his job. And we end up getting divorced and suddenly there's no money for maintenance. Oh, or even if we stay together and he loses his job and oh, this might not be the best idea. That's fight. That's why you don't want to be in fight. You can make some big mistakes. And if your driving factor is, I don't want to screw this up. I don't want to blow up my marriage. I don't want to ruin my kid's life. I don't want to have to leave my home, my family, my retirement accounts, all the things that we've created together. If you're in fight, you're going to blow it up. I know. Flight is isolation, getting the heck out of here. And you know what? I don't think flight in general is as damaging. It can be, but it's not generally as damaging as fight. It's just that need to be alone. I mean, I don't I don't even want to be around you. I don't even want to see you. I don't even want, it's that energy of just, God, get me out of here. I talk to a lot of women. I do that introductory session for a lot of women who are like, I'm zooming in from an Airbnb. I'm in a hotel right now. I took off to, wherever for a week because I needed to figure this out. And that can be healthy too. That can be healthy because it will give you a chance to get away from the trigger. Your partner is the trigger. The fact that your real life is never going to look the same again. The fact that your future is not the future that you thought. That takes time to process, and it's good sometimes to get away. I actually attempted that at one point in my recovery. I I Googled what is the closest beach to Colorado, and it was Texas. And I was like, I'm just going to get in the car. I'm going to get an Airbnb. I found one like right there on the water, and I'm just going to go down and I'm going to spend however long I need. And then my mind spiraled. Oh my God, that's a long drive. And who's going to be home taking care of the animals? And what about the kids? And what about this? And what about that? And then I ended up not doing it. And you know what? I don't really know if that's good or bad that I didn't do it, but I recognize that need that I just have to get out of my life. I have to get out of my life for a moment. I've got to get out of here. I cannot handle this. And my husband and I have had several other flight moments along the way. We saw coaches, we saw counselors, we saw energy healers. Like we did all the things. We did, books and podcasts and talked and blah, 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 blah. And then there were moments where we're like, I can't take anymore. I need a break. I need a huge break. It actually feels re-traumatizing to go to our couples therapist. Like everything would be going fine. We're having this good day. We'd be like, oh God, we have to go. And then we'd get in a fight on the way home, or we'd feel icky on the way home. And it would just like bring up all of this stuff. And we're like, "Ugh." We were calming down. We were soothing. We were having a good connection. And now we're not. And that's icky. And I don't want that. And I don't want to go to counseling again. And I don't want to rehash the past again. I understand it. I'm not totally at peace with it yet, but the last thing I want to do is go rehash it right now. Right now, I just want to grill burgers and take a walk and then chill out and watch a movie. And that's flight, yes. But I also think that's fair. I really think we need that time to process and to stop having it in our face because we can't lean in all the time. Now, a little bit similar, but a little bit different is freeze. So I'm asking you right now, right here, what were your fight moments? Like when I was going to call everybody and tell. What were your flight moments where you're like, I got to get out of my life. Got to get out of my life. The last one is freeze. And like I said, it's similar to flight, but it's different. It's literally, I can't do anything. I can't even make the call to book the Airbnb. I can't even pick up the phone and call for help. I can't even open the laptop and Google things. I can't even open my phone and push play on some podcasts. It's just too much. I can't cook dinner. I can't get out of bed. I can't get off the floor. I can't. I had plenty of I can'ts along the way too. Plenty of days where I couldn't get off the floor and I'd think my son's coming home and I have to figure this out and I want to go do things and I need to go do things and I couldn't do it. I just couldn't do it. Couldn't do it. My husband also. It's been an incredible journey. Incredible bad, incredible good, and just incredible. but he ended up taking a significant time away from work afterwards. And, kid you not, he would sit on the couch, sometimes for hours. Not really depressive, but just sitting and staring at a wall and processing. And I had plenty of those times too. And again, with so many of these states, there's a healthy, I got to give myself time and space to feel. And then there's that freeze, I can't. And I think that's the difference that I want you to know, is that difference between I can't, I'm in a total state of freeze and I literally can't, versus I'm overwhelmed and I'm re-regulating my nervous system right now. I'm just taking 5. A boundary, I'm choosing to take 5, versus I can't. I cannot move forward right now. So whether you're in fight, flight, or freeze, you are in the survival portion of your brain. It's the deer, the antelope running away, fighting, or playing dead. Where are you fighting? Where are you running away? And where are you playing dead? Because in none of those states can you actually process the emotion, figure things out, and move forward with